You didn't even wash your hands. Hey, I'm Austin.
And I'm Ryan.
And this is the Spring Chat,
where we talk all things Disney.
resorts,
Shopping. Food. You can catch us at 8:30 on Thursday nights on
Facebook, YouTube.
Twitch, and now Spotify on Amplified Network.
Thanks for joining us here at the Amplified Network. Your show will begin in just a few minutes, but first I want to go on ahead and shout out to our awesome sponsors. First, we have the Mouse Merch Box. It is an official Disney subscription box. It is $60 quarterly if you subscribe, or $70 per box. It's going to come with $120 to $150 worth of exclusive Disney apparel and merchandise, so definitely check that out. If you do decide that you want to check them out, we do have a coupon code for you. Coupon code is going to be Springs20 for 20% off of your order. Next, we have the Great Adventure Supply Company. Great Adventure Supply Company is really cool. They have a bunch of 80s and 90s themed pop culture themed Disney and theme park apparel. So if you're like me, you miss the 90s, you love that style. They recently released some new exciting additions to their store. Be sure to check them out. And we also have a coupon code for the Great Adventure Supply Company that's going to be Magic15 for 15% off of your order. So thank you so much for joining us. We greatly appreciate you and our sponsors. So stay tuned here on the Amplified Network. Your show will be coming up soon.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome
What
to
up?
Welcome to episode 12 of the Theatergoers. I'm your man Tony, my homeboy Tafari, my co-host. Episode 12, we are talking about Men in Black International. I haven't heard that song in so long, though.
Honestly, I was...
And then when they played it in the movie, I was like, oh,
yeah, I'm glad we got to keep the original theme.
Dude, this whole summer's been like a whole wave of nostalgia.
Yeah.
It's much.
It's
and like
done
childhood
right.
memories and whatnot. I don't know if this one maybe lived up to the hype of the ones we saw before.
Like,
but they had competition. It's Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith. You know what I'm saying?
True.
It's a little. They set the bar up here, and even with Men in Black 3, how they had Josh Brolin, who those of you who don't know who that is, he played Thanos. They had him in the Men in Black 3. That thing was huge because him and Tommy Lee Jones looked alike.
Yeah.
Which went with the story they were trying to talk about. But Men in Black International, I'm sure at least people our age knew exactly who the stars were. You got Thor and Chris Hemsworth, and then you had Valkyrie for Tessa Thompson. I'm referring to their Marvel characters because I'm pretty sure everyone knows them more for their Marvel characters.
Yeah, so the pairing alone was enough to make me go see it. Plus,
because they already had good chemistry in the Thor movies and in the Avengers movies. So then bringing them two together again, I thought it was a hit right then and there. That made me want to watch it immediately.
Yeah, plus the way the trailer went with her, like not being recruited by the Men in Black, but having them recruit you, as in going to find them. That was kind of a nice spin on everything too.
Yeah, because she's only been looking for them for 20 years, didn't do anything else with her life for the most part.
Lived like a good enough life, like education wise, to go and get any job she wants at like high government facilities, and was like, not what I'm looking for.
And the fact that she aced everything.
Yeah.
Aced everything. And then it was so funny. Okay, you're supposed to check a box. Everyone checks a box. And then it's like, I did.
I checked the box
that doesn't exist. So it was the FBI and the CIA. Normally, and what's odd to me about that is that even though she had those records of like the tests and everything.
Yeah.
They recruited a cop in Will Smith in the first one, but not like an up and coming like recruit like her, or maybe they just didn't notice her at the time.
Maybe
Yeah.
she was kind of a shut-in where she only followed leads and came outside like when she wasn't hacking into government satellites on her computer.
No, that, and I was just gonna say, mentioned that Emma Thompson. She mentioned that they didn't pick her up when she was analyzing the meteor that was supposed to be not heading towards Earth, but then it came to Earth.
Yeah.
Jimmy. That's what the guy's name was.
I just came to see my kids, man.
I just came here to see my
That
kids,
was
man.
fun. That was
this
funny.
is Earth? But I must have made a wrong turn.
When she
somewhere.
finally gets into the MIB, the whole celebrities or aliens thing, that was hilarious to me.
Yeah, they brought that back from the first three.
I forget who were the celebrity aliens.
I'll tell you right now. It was Michael Jackson, Sylvester Stallone, the Will Smith's teacher from like 3rd grade or something like that.
Okay.
It was on the first one they had a screen full of them, but the ones that came like in large were NJ, Sylvester Stallone. Oh my God, Ariana Grande. If she was though. That's the one that got me. If Ariana Grande was, I was like, no. Well, I was still date. I was still hit it.
Not me, not I. That is
man,
not
come
my cup.
on,
That is
dude.
not my cup of tea at all. That is. I feel like Chris Hansen would come around the corner. She makes me feel that way.
No, because they had Ariana Grande.
Was she up there?
Yeah, she was the first one up there. That's why I started laughing as soon as that pulled up.
I literally like, what is it? Oh, this kid was walking up the theater and his mom gave him like a bucket of popcorn the size of him. So right when they showed it, he spilled it, like right next to my feet. I'm just like, as someone,
like when you were watching it.
Yeah, like
damn.
He's coming up the stair. Like I got the seat that's like right by where the stairs like turn into another row, and he just like, oops, drops like half the bucket. I'm just like, I feel bad for the usher that has to clean this up because I definitely used to
you know
hate
they
it.
ain't gonna clean it up.
I mean, yeah, and she's like, and then here comes the rest of the family stepping on. I was like, see what you did. I'm like, y'all are not helping.
See, you had to go to the theater I went to. I went there. I think it was 11 a.m. the movie, bruh.
This was a 10 a.m. showing.
Really?
This was a matinee.
Oh my God! And there were and you had a whole family come up on you.
It was like,
including me. I had 4 people in my theater.
It was like a mom with like 4 kids, like maybe her 2 kids and some cousins she was in charge of for
they
the
couldn't
day.
They couldn't be in school. They should not have been in school or something like that.
Summer camps be full around these times. But yeah, so I look down. I look up. I just see Elon Musk. I'm like, okay, that's a. He probably asked to be in this.
that's who the second one was. Okay,
Elon
it
Musk,
was,
and then that was like, we know who that is.
it went
Childish.
Ariana Grande, Elon Musk, and then it turns away, and then Donald Glover came out, and they were like, oh no, that makes sense.
Like, yeah, freaking Childish Gambino on the red carpet. Yeah, he makes sense.
Yeah, that made sense. But
Alien Ariana kind of makes sense too. It
because
fits
she's
in
so
my brain.
talented, man. She knows how to speak to the people. Probably has like a machine that just hypnotizes everyone into her fans and everything. Although she deserves every shout out, Ariana. I love you.
I believe she's a siren reincarnated from Greek mythology.
You think that would make sense?
If you think about it,
makes sense.
all those mythological creatures stop aging at a certain time.
So the one person that could be a siren is Ariana.
I'm just saying, you know those like Greek mythical creatures. They stay a certain age at a certain point. So either they stay an old person, young person. I think she stopped at like age 12 and then just went on for like a couple thousand years, luring sailors to their death with her seductive.
The only age that's changing is on her Facebook. That's it.
Exactly. And then she lured sailors to her death with her seductive voice, which is all the more confusing.
So definitely a lot of points from the first 3 movies that they brought into here. They brought O back. I think she was in like the third one for sure.
Yeah,
so they brought her back.
O was back. The dog was back for
but he's not in. He had
a cameo. But the fact that he's now, because we're in MIB London versus New York.
Right. It starts in New York,
So
and then she gets transferred to London.
Yeah, so that's basically where this whole movie takes place. So the fact that the dog is there is like, you're just gonna let that one slide. You're gonna call it in,
right? You're not
and
even
the
gonna
old
call
guy's
it
just
in?
like, I guess so.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I love how she tried to sneak in though. Like I really liked how slick she tried to be, you know? Because even then it was like oh yeah, I'm gonna just walk up in there
Yeah,
and
the
be
fact
like,
that she had like an outfit and everything.
she had
like,
this
prepared for this
you know what
day.
I think she messed up on? Shorts.
Yeah, the
they
skirt.
don't wear no shorts.
Yeah. The fact that the elevator was prepared for people to come in though like that, it was just like gonna continue going down.
They I think, but the thing is, they were like, no one, this hasn't happened for like years or whatever. I don't even get it. Oh man, she almost had though. She played it really good. Like, hey, did they bring in like a Tangarian just now? Yeah, a few minutes before you should. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
she waited like 20 years for this day. She was prepared, outfit and all. And then like even when she saw the bird, she like took like 2 seconds of hesitation before she just rushed into the force field and was like, "Yep, these are definitely the people I'm looking for."
Oh yeah, because when she saw the pigeons flying into and none of them died, it was like, okay. Let me try my hand first. Okay, I'm good there. Now let me just try my face.
Yeah.
That's new. I really like that about this movie though, because in the first three, it's just neuralize. Here they got a whole thing to cover them.
Right, yeah.
And what person is just gonna go to a 50,000 volt fence and just be like, I'm gonna touch it, you know? You know, no one's going to do that at all. That, to me, was smart. That was a good little addition to this.
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out how she even... I mean, I know she tracked like a government satellite, but how does no one realize like someone else is just completely tracking their like knowledge of space things coming out of the sky and falling?
It got overlooked, or was it? Or it didn't show up on their radar? I'm not sure.
Had to be, because that was like one of my first little gripes. I'm like, so no one noticed her just using their like that of the giant satellite hanging out her apartment window?
They don't pay attention to those little things. The government never does until it's too late. What I really wanted to see is the chemistry kind of come off really well, Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson.
Yeah.
I really wanted to see the chemistry kind of pop off the screen like it was in Thor Ragnarok and in Avengers.
Right.
I don't think it was as great because you remember with the director in Ragnarok, Taika Waititi, that dude was comedy all the time. He made him laugh on screen. He made him laugh off screen. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I didn't realize this was a F. Gary Gray film. Like,
yeah,
like the dude.
I didn't realize that until the opening credits.
Friday did this movie, so I was impressed to see how far he's come into doing like these super sci-fi-ish.
Well, he directed Straight Outta Compton too.
I'm saying so. Straight Outta Compton, Friday. I mean, you know he's gonna nail those type of movies, but. Tackling a Men in Black property, he did like pretty well for this.
Yeah,
like, this is way.
It was. I honestly went into it with like an open mind because
same. Like
you know how I feel about Rotten Tomatoes.
Like we were just talking about on the previous show we were doing. There's like the summer blockbusters. That's what Men in Black was. You just went in for like the enjoyment. You didn't really. It's not that I didn't expect anything, but I knew like it wasn't gonna let me down. I'm not gonna like, oh, I hate the story and everything. Like I thoroughly enjoyed that first Men in Black saga, the first 3 movies.
The thing that made me love Men in Black 1, 2, 3 though is not only the chemistry of Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith. But in their characters, they're literally the opposites of opposites. This guy's like a reckless, want to go do something, got to save the world, blah, 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 versus, you know, Tommy has to play the trainer, the leader. But in terms of just personality, it's like so different. But I think that's why it works so well. Because one thing is opposites attract, but it's another thing when opposites work together day in, day out, and they're literally still like on top of everything, you know? That to me, I think is what they were trying to reach with this one. Not quite, because
they kind of had the Thor and Valkyrie thing. Like he fell from grace, and she was going to be the one to kind of balance him back out. Although my only thing with this movie, I didn't really understand, like when we get the whole plot twist which we'll talk about towards the end of the movie, it was like, you know, you haven't been the same since
I just thought it was the wrong guy the whole time, but
my thing's like, okay, you haven't been the same since that day, you haven't been the same since that. They bring it up the whole movie, and even the dude, the alien guy in the beginning, was like, nah, he's changed, and they never really explained what it was. Like
until
I'm saying, even when they explained it, it didn't really explain like, okay, he was lied to that day and came back on a falsehood, but we don't really explain. So what made his character become like the Tony Stark of this universe?
The douchebag that he is.
He became Tony Stark in Iron Man 1, and they don't really explain why. Like, did he just get so hyped on the ego of, I saved the world?
We'll definitely talk about that closer to the end or in a little bit. But the thing that you know what I wish they had done? What? I wish they had talked about the mural of Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones. I wish they had talked about that.
Was that them on the mural that they kept looking at? I thought
it's the first one she looked at when they were in the office because they were in trouble. Was of Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones.
Okay,
the second one was of
and
Hemsworth.
Then the second one was Hemsworth. I'm like, I feel like I just saw a nod to the previous movie.
They kept putting that in the trailer so many times.
Because I saw the mural and I'm like, okay, they keep pointing to the one from the France mission, and then I see the other one. I'm like, I think that was a nod to Will Smith and Tommy Lee, but I couldn't tell. So
no, it was. That was them taking on that big ass, ugly ass cockroach.
Yeah. How do we feel about Liam Neeson basically being the Tommy Lee Jones of this movie?
I don't. Basically, the Tommy Lee. I don't mind Liam Neeson because honestly, he's that badass that no matter what type of leadership role he takes, you're gonna listen to him. Because while he looks like he's just a leader, he ain't gonna do nothing. He could whoop your ass, and most people don't think that.
Yeah.
Why you think he does Taken? He does the Star Wars movie. He's Batman's fucking trainer. All that stuff.
Oh yeah, he was Ra's al Ghul.
What
was he? Ra's.
It's the same thing. The same guy. You all know who we're talking about.
Yeah.
The one thing I definitely want to point out is that the success of the first three movies was like massive. The first Men in Black movie with a $90 million budget made just under $590 million worldwide at the box office. Number two didn't do as well, but still $442 million. That's really great. The best one, though, based off of the numbers, was Men in Black 3, $624 million.
Yeah, that one, I remember that one doing
that's the one our generation will remember the most.
Yeah, I remember us doing that one being a real big summer hit that everybody wanted to go see.
They had Pitbull doing a big part of the soundtrack. And then when they added Josh Brolin, I think that added to the comedy. Josh Brolin not only looks a bit like Tommy Lee Jones,
right,
but sounds like him. I don't know if they're both from Texas, but they had the same accent, I feel like, man.
He probably did a good job of just studying his character from the first two movies, and then
You think so?
Yeah, and then he probably just shadowed him a little bit here and there throughout the film, because usually what people do, they understudy or they just hang out together when they're trying to get in character, especially if you got to play like when they did.
You just watched nonstop movies of Tommy.
That or just hung out with the dude. If you watched When They See Us, the new Netflix documentary everyone's raving about.
Oh yeah.
When they said, "How did you guys get in character?" We just hung out with the dudes all the time. We just let the kids meet and hang.
That's good. That's a good point.
One of the dudes, he said "What'd you do?" He's he put his chain around my neck and said, "You're Antron McCray for right now." And that dude. I watched I don't know if you watched the interview they did with Oprah after the show. We talked about his dad, dude. It is heartbreaking.
Oh, no. I caught glimpses of that, just on, Facebook and Twitter.
I finally had to go sit down and give 5 hours of my time. They do the Oprah interview.
Because it's a show. It's not a movie.
It's like a show documentary.
Turned into a movie, yeah.
Yeah, because it's 4 episodes, basically, the arrest, and then how each of the 4 were handled during being a kid in prison, and then being an adult after coming out and being lied on for so long. But he talks about his dad and it's just because they all came out as grown men with a 14-year-old mindset, and Oprah's we saw what happened to your dad in the film. Do you ever visit his grave? And he was absolutely not. Hey, dropped it. Sorry. He said, absolutely not. Hate him. I don't care. And people, everyone in the audience just started bawling. This man in his on his dad's deathbed felt no remorse because he was that upset, but all because of an effed up justice system. I hear that
that show or documentary, whichever you want to call it, has been the most viewed thing on Netflix in the last for the last week or two.
Because it's had so many real world implications that popped up.
Not because it's a real case, it's a real story.
Case, and now the backlash that are coming from people.
And what people don't realize is Trump's part in that and how it's super negative, and that just gives y'all another reason to basically hate Trump.
But yeah, the kids had good acting because they basically did a good job understudying under the 4 men who the story's based off of. So I feel like that's what this guy did with Tommy Lee Jones and basically playing what would be a younger, spunkier, more active and emotional version of himself.
I couldn't take how much Brolin as Tommy kept smiling and laughing.
Exactly.
It was like what happened to you,
It's
dude?
like Captain Marvel when you got people like, oh, I didn't like young Nick Fury. I'm like, did you think he was like a serious, angry eye patch dude his
the
whole
entire life?
Like,
yeah,
he clearly laughed at some point. Like, I was impressed that they made Samuel Jackson look that young.
he did love the cat a little bit too much, though. In my opinion.
I was shocked that that's really what took him out. Last time I trusted somebody, I lost the eye.
Such bullcrap, bro. I wanted him to lose it cooler, a better way or a worse way, whichever you want to take. So then back to the box office numbers.
Yeah. So how did this one do?
International is not hitting the mark as well as the first three, but as of right now, it is at $106 million. It won the opening weekend with about 30 mil.
Who did they beat out? I
They
feel like
beat
this
out.
wasn't really a strong. This wasn't a strong competition weekend. I feel like as far as movies go.
They beat out. Let me see. Well, it wasn't much playing. I think it was Rocket Man, and then some other movies that might have been taking part, but it didn't have huge competition. It wasn't like because Toy Story 4 and things like that come out
like
next week.
if you put your movie out next month, you got some heavy hitters coming to get you. So picking this like one of the last weeks or second half of June when there's not much competition, honestly, it's a smart business move. Like you got some people just go to the theater like on a like a gut thought and just like we'll just see what's playing when we get there. Honestly, I think they did a good job. Like as far as how this,
They did.
as far as just a Men in Black title and the fact that we like, you ever see the movie Wanted?
Yes.
Okay, like
Yes,
we had
I love that
the
movie.
fraternity, and then if you play the Wanted video game, that's like the London fraternity, and it takes place over. So doing a movie like that, it's like, hey, we're expanding upon the world, which already covers the universe as it is, which we find out is like us in a locker somewhere. Jesus.
Oh, I'll tell you right now. Doesn't say much about the other movies, but apparently it won $30.04 million over the weekend. But Incredibles 2 was apparently not even re-released, just kind of there, and they got more money than Men in Black.
Really?
And remember, Incredibles 2 came out at least a few months ago, at least.
Just about. I want to say like around the wintertime.
Or by far last summer, because it was a summer thing because everyone wanted to see it. First animated movie that ever hit $1 billion. No, I lied. Second movie, but best opening weekend for an animated movie, Incredibles 2. Check it out if you haven't seen it. Yeah, it only took 15 years for the next one to come out. So
once again, ratings can't be trusted. As far as this movie, tomato meter 24%, audience score 65, and that's still counting.
Mm-hmm. No, like you know how I feel about those. I'm not a fan of Rotten Tomatoes anymore because, dude, it's not. They look for. If anyone's watched this show before, I told y'all before, they're looking for Academy Award winners.
Yeah,
this is not that. This is just a summer movie.
I'm reading some of the like top critic reviews, and they're like super negative. But then you read one from like a super reviewer, and they're just like, it's perfect. Look, super reviewer, Men in Black International is a perfectly fine movie.
There we go.
Like I don't get why. I feel like being allowed to. What is it? Be a critic on the internet makes people feel special since they can't go to these like red carpet screenings and private showings.
They gotta feel some type of way, some way, bro. They gotta feel like they're important somehow, some way.
Everybody's gotta feel important. Just go on Twitter.
There you go.
You get enough likes and retweets.
What is it now? 250 characters you can type up.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. We gave you $100. We gave you 100 more.
Yeah. OJ got fame overnight. You'll be all right.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so man, I think box office wise is doing good, but then when I was digging through, I completely forgot that Men in Black had an old TV cartoon series. Yes. And then if you go look it up, if I can find the proper link. Yeah, apparently like all those old Fox properties or like Warner Brother properties had like cartoons and whatnot back in the day. Because I looked up the Godzilla TV so there was Superman the animated series, Godzilla the animated series, Batman the animated series. Who else?
It's hard to now watch a movie that hasn't had a series. Period. a lot of animated, but now they got the CW. I think has a new Batwoman series coming out in a few weeks. Yeah,
is this gonna be like a spinoff of Gotham?
Ruby Rose is a Batwoman. I don't know, because Gotham I think is Fox.
Oh,
so it's not like a Code Network spinoff or anything like that. It's just Batwoman, her own series.
How do we feel about I'm blanking on the name. The guy from Twilight. How do we feel about him playing Batman?
I wasn't a fan of him because of Twilight. I don't want to say he's not good for the role, but to go from Ben Affleck, 20 years fighting and blah, 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 to now a young Batman again, I don't like that.
Like, this is apparently a spinoff. Like this and the Joker film are all like their own standalone solo universe film.
Yeah, they're not bringing it together or anything like that.
Spitballing things until they stick and just like, let's just try everything and see what lands. It's weird.
I'll tell you what, though. I seen the Joker like previews and the trailers.
Yeah.
That looks amazing.
You think so?
I honestly cannot wait to see it because, one, Joaquin Phoenix is a proven actor. I'm a fan of his. Two, just looking at his body and how he's going about the role in the trailers looks amazing.
Right.
And three, it's a whole new story that people haven't done before because the only time we've seen the Joker in at least our lifetime, or at least in the movies that we've possibly seen, were Jack Nicholson, where you know his backstory a little bit, but not that much. And then you have Heath Ledger in The Dark Knight, and then you have Jared Leto's Joker from Suicide Squad.
It'll be interesting to actually get like a name and who he was before, because the most we got recently was like The Killing Joke, which struggled in like the first two acts because the comic is based off is only like 20 pages long, but it literally gives you the story of
and they did a movie for The Killing Joke, but it wasn't
the story. That's what I'm talking about. The movie struggled with the whole like building up to the Joker even being in it, but as far as the Killing Joke portion of it, with his backstory of the Red Hood and his wife and like child dying at the same time, and then getting on a botched robbery and falling in an acid pit.
Because the thing that I was looking forward to in The Killing Joke is The Killing Joke. So I'm like, oh, somebody gonna die in this, but no, nobody.
That's
dies.
basically the comic. The comic is basically an origin story,
right? Barbara Gordon gets shot and paralyzed, but she don't die.
No, that's part of it. That's how she becomes Oracle.
Exactly.
And loses her powers as Batgirl, ironically, because he didn't even know that was her.
So yeah, I'm honestly really excited for it. I love Joaquin Phoenix. I think I even heard his laugh in the trailer. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sent chills down my body.
Joker, high expectations. Batman, not so much. Men in Black.
I don't like the Batman casting 100% yet. I want to see it in action before I can give him like an ultimate decision.
But yeah, backtracking, the show, the Men in Black cartoon, 97 to 2001.
Oh wow, it lasted a while.
Yeah, it was. I think all these shows had like 2 or 3 seasons, and some of the seasons just went to DVD and never aired, or VHS back then, because they got canceled. You know, they always pulled the plugs on the.
And
good
it's funny
shows.
you mentioned Warner Brothers. That was like the showrunner in weekend morning cartoons.
Saturday morning cartoons. You had like the Cubics.
You
the
always
Yu-Gi-Ohs,
get the frog coming out. The Warner Brothers. And everything. Yeah. That was my ish. Only reason to ever get up on
and this was
early
based,
on a Saturday.
This was based on Will Smith's character and like his story. So
really,
it's literally those two on the cover.
No, I don't remember too much of the show. I was more into Yu-Gi-Oh
either. I just remember like, oh, this was a thing. Same with the original Godzilla, which people claim to be like the worst reviewed one. That had a TV show that ran for 3 seasons. Where
I remember the Godzilla show for sure, because I was just like, he's so fast, and they changed it up into making him the hero. Mighty Ducks.
Mighty Ducks had a cartoon. Batman the Animated Series. That's an old one. The Spider-Man Unlimited. Back to the Future had a cartoon. Jackie Chan Adventures. Fantastic.
And these can be either pre or post, but a lot of them are post.
Yeah, and then a lot of them got their first films or were based on their first iterations of films that we got back then.
And then
I wouldn't be surprised if this either leads to some kind of animated property that comes out of it, or they try to make another sequel.
And what's funny is that the first Men in Black movie was released in 97, and you said the show was 97 to 2001.
Yeah.
So they probably, after the movie came out with so success, they probably made the show all the way until Men in Black 2 was made, and then they stopped it.
Capitalized on it. Same thing with what was the movie? Osmosis Jones. They had an Ozzy and Drake show for like 2 seasons.
I love that movie. I don't care what nobody says. One of the best, most underrated animated movie ever.
That was Chris Rock.
Chris Rock, dude. Oh
Chris
my
Rock,
God.
I feel like deserves more animated roles than he gets.
Well, I mean, he had the Everybody Hates Chris show for like a few seasons.
Literally, like my favorite show of all time because it related to my real life. And
then he brought out the Tambourine stand-up special on Netflix. That was
awesome.
His big thing for like, because he hadn't done stand-up in a few years, I think. But still, it says something how so many animated and movie features can just start having a small TV show just to keep the traction going. Because obviously, like we just mentioned, with Men in Black 1 coming out in 97 all the way to 2001, yeah, that seems about right. I don't know exactly when Men in Black 2 came out, but that seems about right to me.
Yeah, so how do we feel about all the actors we have being from like more action geared movie versus comedic, where we had Will Smith, who was coming off of his goofy rap and Fresh Prince career? Like, do we feel like they carried the humor over pretty well?
I feel like the one person who exemplifies that was Liam Neeson, because he's not coming from comedy; he's coming from really good acting roles. But then once he did Taken, at his age, or at least how old people thought he was, everyone's been on that now.
Yeah, true. I'm not gonna lie about that one.
He started a trend now where like there's a point though where Tom Cruise has been doing Mission Impossible since like the late 90s, but that's him, and he started young.
I'm surprised those are still going, honestly. I fell asleep.
The last one, Fallout, was the best one.
The one before that, I fell asleep.
Rogue Nation.
Not because it was bad. We literally, like, for football camp, the coaches usually, like, every college, everywhere, the coaches usually do, like, a team bonding night. Mm-hmm. So they usually be like, all right, everybody go shower up. Practice is over early. We're all going to the movies. Thing is, we just did, like, a 2 a day. So we just did 2 practices. Have been up since 6 in the morning. The movie's almost 3 hours long. It's, like, 8 o'clock. By 9, we're all just, like you can hear our old, like, rest in peace, R.I.P. Coach Garber. He's like that old coach on the staff that every coaching staff has, who's just hilarious for no reason. You can hear Garb snoring in the front row. The movie wasn't bad. We were like, Coach, if we're gonna do this, we need to go like 4 hours earlier, because then we all get back at 10 o'clock and we're just crying ourselves to sleep because we got to get up in 6 hours.
Right. So Tom Cruise has been doing Impossible movie since the 90s, but Neeson coming out with Taken started a whole trend with not so young actors doing action movies now.
True.
He did Taken 1, 2, and 3. Now you got Will Smith doing the Gemini movie.
That looks interesting too, honestly.
That I'm not gonna lie, is like, you know what? That could be a twist in the end itself too.
So I mean, how do we Thor and Valkyrie though are coming from being Thor and Valkyrie to semi-serious, goofy Men in Black.
Huge spin too, because even Valkyrie had the British accent in the Avenger movies, but not this one. This one, she's American.
True.
Is she American, like real life, or is she British?
I don't know. I feel like either. The American. She might.
I heard her talk on an interview during the premiere of Men in Black, and she sounded American.
She might be. I don't know. It surprised me when I heard Tom Holland speak the first time out of character.
Yeah, same. I knew he was a foreigner, but when I heard him for the first time in Civil War, I was like, oh damn, I didn't know this kid was American, because I had seen the movie.
American accents always trip me out from people who naturally speak European.
For a long time, I was a fan. I'm a fan of The Walking Dead. For a long time, I thought Andrew Lincoln was American.
Really?
And then I heard him speak outside of the show. I was like, oh my God, another Brit, dude.
Yeah, I feel like she kind of had a good in-between between this movie and playing Valkyrie, because I feel like I heard both. Like she has an in-between that you almost don't notice, and you're like, okay, it's there on both sides.
And then I think it's funny how she is the one sort of sort of just the one American accent in between Emma Thompson, who is Agent O. She's English.
Agent O was great.
She's so funny. I love her. Hemsworth, who speaks with an accent as well.
Yeah.
And then Neeson, who doesn't speak with a full British accent, but he ain't American neither. He's Irish or Scottish.
I feel like Liam Neeson has his own accent. Liam Neeson is his own voice. Like I don't think it's established anywhere. Although
I know he's definitely Irish.
The interaction with Agent O was hilarious, though. The men in black don't have that conversation. I've already tried.
I love, and then when Hemsworth was like, and then when Hemsworth near the end was like, the men and women of Men in Black.
Like, you're just gonna shoot him? Your speech was appreciated, but this will probably work better.
Oh man, and those guys that were the bad guys for
the villains.
Les Twins. Those guys are huge in the dancing world.
I was
huge.
Okay, I was like, when they started doing the breakdancing, I'm like, they must be known for this, because the fact that they're like body snatchers, but we're using them the whole film, they have to be somebody. And I'm like, they seem like someone I probably scrolled past on TV.
Yeah, they are Laurent and Larry Nicholas Borges.
Okay, so they were actually twins. It wasn't just
no,
two CG people.
I loved how two beings made one into two, though.
Oh, that was
that was interesting to me, because I was like, "Where's the brother? Where's the brother?" And then when they both melted the original, professionally known as Les Twins, are French dancers, choreographers, producers, model designers, and creative directors of their brand 11 Paris. Nice. They were on that show, So You Think You Can Dance with J-Lo,
right.
Channing Tatum's ex-wife. I forget her name.
Oh, the host of those shows changed so many times. I remember the dancers.
Neo's one of them. There you go. They came on the show the first year because everyone knew about them through videos and YouTube and whatnot. So you already know when they came on the show for the first time in the first year, J-Lo looked at them like, "Oh, I already know who you are. I can't wait." And they blew everyone away, dude. So when I saw how they came on, dude, I was excited. I was excited from the trailer when I found out they were involved. So from the very beginning, if you guys haven't heard of them, Les Twins, go watch a YouTube clip. Go watch their thing on the World of Dance or whatever it's called, bro. Fire.
They actually broke down for a quick minute. I'm like, this is like professional. This must be. I feel like they're acting on the side, and this is what they're actually good at. But they were actually like not the main antagonists, but they were like the antagonists for like the entire first and second act of the film. And then when we got to the third act, I was like, I saw the dude who was like the bodyguard. I'm like, that's clearly the setup from the beginning of the movie, and he's gonna help her out, or it's gonna be like a double cross. So when he actually was like, I remember you from 20 years ago when you helped me escape, he's like, what does that mean? I'll kill anyone you want in the most violent way possible. And I'm like, but he was like, I
didn't realize until she was thinking about it, and then I looked and I was like, oh, that's right. I feel like the second I saw him,
I'm like, this has got to be a plot device.
Really? It went over my head because I was enjoying Hemsworth getting his ass
when they
kicked.
showed him in the flashback. Remember, these things could grow up to be big, ugly killers in a second. So the fact that I'm like, maybe they're just misjudging. I'm like, nope, he grew up to be a big, ugly killer, and that was his mindset when he was like Lilo and Stitch size and being all cute and telling her cute phrases that mean like violent murder. Hey man,
that just goes to show you good karma comes around. He was about to kill both Agent M and Agent H, Hemsworth and Tessa, but he said, "Nah, you saved my life." So, bitch, give it up.
Yeah, when they went to the chick, the arms deal, and he's like, "Yep, hand it up." Also, her little sidekick the whole film was hilarious.
Oh my god!
My lady says to know that you are a stubborn douchebag.
My queen.
Sorry, my pledge allegiance. Who was voicing him? I could not. I was trying to look it up earlier.
I don't know his name, but he was in The Big Sick. He was in Silicon Valley. Kumaji something. I know that.
I know that. I know that.
Are you looking up right now?
I'm blanking on the face.
Watch. Go through the cast.
Liam Neeson, Rebecca Ferguson,
right there.
Les Twin. Him. Right yes, Pawnee. That's
Kumaji
what his name was.
Najani.
He was hilarious as Pawnee.
If you guys haven't seen him before or heard of him, The Big Sick, he did really well in that movie. He's also in Silicon Valley.
They actually have Ariana Grande listed as the cast for Men in Black International. That's hilarious.
Because they need the permission to have a video of her or something.
Though, to use someone's likeness like
I don't
that,
know,
like,
bro. That's a whole
nother question. You
have
to reach out and be like, Childish Gambino, we have you in 0.2 seconds of this film. Is that okay?
All right. Yeah, no, he
He
probably
was in the Big Six, Silicon Valley.
Valley,
Stuber is supposed to be a good one. Oh, he was in
Adventure Time.
He plays
for
Primo.
the younger people.
Yeah, he plays Primo in
That's
Adventure
right.
Time.
So for the people who don't know who that is, we just listed off his credits, including Stuber, which I think is coming out real soon. But Kumaji Nanjiani, is that how you say his name?
It is
Kumaji Nanjiani.
Yeah.
There we go. Well, I bet Donald Glover, when they asked him about using his picture or whatever, he probably went like,
I'm surprised he didn't try to get like a speaking role.
No, he probably went like this. What y'all gonna use it for? Oh yeah, you're gonna be one of the secret aliens we know about. All right, bet. Go ahead. You can use it. No charge.
His Coachella performance reminded me how down to earth that guy is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like the whole. I mean, we got to get to the end. Actually, let's wrap it up. So, how do you feel about the whole double plot twist at the end with Liam Neeson's
The thing is, though, with the Les Twins characters, after they killed them off.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, they killed them off. After they killed them off, and then they were figuring out, well, they said that they would do anything for their world, that we need the weapon for the Hive, but they meant to say to use it against the Hive.
Yeah.
They went about it in the completely wrong way.
You think so? Because
they melted an innocent person, and then they killed the guy who has the weapon.
I feel like
they couldn't come up and be like, excuse me.
We
need to use the weapon.
I feel like that's going to be like a thing in cinema scenes. Like, I could just see it right now. It's like, so instead of going and asking the proper people to how to obtain this weapon and kill the enemy of literally